Happy week 2, Farmshare friends. Layla is here to join me to help you find out what is in your Farmshare. So I was just walking on the farm and looking at all the things that are to come. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got garlic scapes coming next week. Layla helped me pick some of those that were ready. I'll talk more about those next week, but they're a really cool delicacy on the farm. But we're enjoying the cool weather this week, which is really unheard of for beginning of May or end of May. So anyway, let's get started. Layla, what do we have first? Green beans. Okay, so you either have green beans or broccoli and broccolini. So those are just starting to come on, so I wanted to slowly integrate them in. So if you got one this week, you'll get the opposite next week for full shares. These are, we've got three types. This is a mix of our green and yellow string bean. They're young and tender, so there's no snapping and stringing the beans like some beans are. You know, these are very tender. We love these raw, or you can eat them steamed, blanched, roasted, any of the above. The other bean that you may have gotten was a long, flat green bean called a Northeaster. And the Northeasters are super sweet. I can't pause it. The Northeasters are super sweet, and we love just to put them on a jar on the countertop, and the kids all grab a bean and eat the whole thing. The other thing I love to do with the Northeasters are blister them. So get my cast iron or my skillet hot with oil, and then throw those in and just, you know, let them sit for a few minutes, and then toss them around with the tongs until each of those flat sides is mostly blistered or toasted. And then I add in a little water and a lid and let it steam to finish off. So you've got either green beans or broccoli. The broccoli will either be broccoli, small broccoli pieces, or broccolini. So the difference here is a broccolini plant, instead of putting one big head of broccoli out like traditional broccoli does, it puts one chunk of broccoli out in the center. And then once we chop that, then we get the broccolinis that shoot up from the side. So you'll either have beans or broccoli or broccolini. For the first 3 weeks, we are funneling through either rhubarb, strawberries, or asparagus. So I cannot remember for the life of me if I talked about the rhubarb last year. Rhubarb is tart and bitter. I think I talked about using it in some dressings and things like that in last week's video. So there is that. And there is somebody mowing. Great. Okay, next up, Layla. Okay, so you've got a big bag with a couple things. One is our sweet salad turnips. These are, use two parts. One, you use the leaf. The second is the turnip. These are not anything like the traditional turnip that most people remember from their grandparents. These turnips, I like to say, are a cross between like an apple, a cucumber, and a radish. What we like to do is just salad turnips. Sweet salad turnips. Cut them into rounds and throw them on our salad, or just use them for hummus. Really good in mashed potatoes, so half potato, half turnip. You can steam the greens. The other item that you may or may not have gotten in your Farmshare was beets or kohlrabi, and I think we talked about kohlrabi specifically last week, so I wanted to touch on beets if you got the beets. I love to cut the top off the beets and boil them. Make sure you're using the tops to saute on the beets. Also on the kohlrabi, you can do many things, like almost like kale chips with the kohlrabi top. So, but the beets I love just warm with butter and salt, or cold with onion and a quick vinaigrette. I'll do equal parts vinegar and honey, and then salt and pepper, and then a lot of big chunks of white onion, or you could even put your leeks in there and just let those marinate in the refrigerator for a few hours, and then I will just grab that bowl of beets and just eat right out, or throw them on top of a salad. So the other thing that you have is radish. Most of you did get our French breakfast radish. I know there was a mix-up one day, and I think the team put our regular radish in there, but still just as tasty. Radish top pesto, as we talked, or cooked down. And then the French breakfast, they're just a little different shape, different length, color. They're going to be a little more mild in the texture and in the taste, so not as spicy generally. So next up is
my favorite.
Fan favorite, Layla's favorite. Our carrots. Do you want to tell them about the carrots? What do you like about the carrots? How do you like to eat them?
Just raw.
Just raw, mostly. Yep. These are like perfect snack size. My recommendation is to not peel them. Somebody's like, oh yeah, I was peeling my carrots. I'm like, you what? You peeled our carrots? Like the peel, the natural peel on there. Yeah, there's some in there. The natural peel on ours are so tender. I watched a video once on the industrial carrot process, and it's a machine that harvests them, and the machine that pulls the green off, and the machine that washes. The carrots are being tumbled and thrown around throughout this whole process. So that peel on them is hard and beat up and thick because they're usually way bigger than this. They're not a tender carrot anymore. So that's why we got to peel them. But our soil has so many microbiomes in it, such a good microbiome diversity. So what I honestly, we spray these out of the field. I don't even wash these for my kids. Generally, I just pop the little root off and we snack just like that. These are really good roasted, perfect like roasting size. You could take our jalapeno creamed honey and drizzle those over the top and make a jalapeno creamed honey afterwards. Carrot tops, these carrot tops are stunning right now. So one of the recipes that is my favorite is a carrot top chimichurri. So if you have your green garlic left, if you have your cilantro left, your herbs from this week, you can make a carrot top chimichurri recipe that is just so tasty. Oh, okay, so we get the little ones and the silly looking ones, the little swirls. So that's Layla's staff to snack on. We every once in a while try to throw a real funny one in there just to keep you guys on your toes and give you a laugh on how silly the harvest can look. The next item, which would be great in your chimichurri, is dill. So this is fresh dill. Right now, this weekend, I plan on making some potato salad and putting the fresh dill in there. We also love a homemade dump ranch recipe, which I think I might have talked about. The dill in that recipe, along with the cilantro and green garlic, would be amazing. Chicken salad with dill is another favorite of mine. I just shared a post on Facebook about, I think it's like 20 different ways to use dill in your recipe. So if you're stuck, go to that and see which one is appealing to you. Next up is, one at a time, please. Both. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Here. Whoop. A dog down there. Imagine that. Not so lucky when I step on his ears. Huh, lucky boy? You have two greens this week. So you have your leaf lettuce. This is washed and ready to eat. This is just a variety of 3 or 4 different types of leaf lettuce. And your other is your kale. So not to overwhelm you in salad greens. Your kale can be frozen. Really great for smoothies. Would be great to revisit if you freeze it. Revisit this summer or this winter when you're making soup, like an Italian wedding soup or something like that. The kale goes really great with that recipe. The kale is so versatile just to throw in your smoothie. So even if you freeze it, you can kind of freeze it on a bread tray. So that way, once it's frozen, you can crumple it up and just have cubes of kale that you could put, throw into a smoothie. Or you could cook it now. So sauteing your kale, add some of your green garlic or your leeks from last week, and saute the kale. I like to do it on a higher heat. Or you can make kale chips. So lots of versatility. You can, kale Caesar salad is something one of our chefs at Westchester makes. It's called the Lucky Dog Kale Caesar Salad. So that's on the menu. So this kale, that thicker lettuce leaf, is going to hold some of those heartier greens for you. Or those greens are going to hold up a lot better with those thicker dressings.
And the lettuce is amazing.
And the lettuce is amazing. We do like our salads, huh?
The lettuce?
Huh? There's lettuce in there to eat, yes. Sorry guys, I gotta keep her out of your Farmshare bags. So you either got kale or arugula. The arugula also can be cooked down. I've got a customer that makes a grilled cheese with arugula salad, or arugula with feta cheese or goat cheese with walnuts, or our toasted pecans is also really yummy. The arugula can go on a pasta. So I tried to give you some versatility. If you're like, okay, enough salads already, you can use this cooked or frozen. And the arugula too would freeze, especially if you wanted to use it in a soup later. That is one green I would not recommend putting into a smoothie. I'm sure it's been done, but arugula's got a nice peppery flavor. Honestly, all of us on the farm when we're like packing orders, we're just like eating the arugula out of it. It is definitely like this just warm, not spicy, but peppery taste. It's really, really fun, really cool to incorporate into different recipes. Goes great with like some lemon juice, on a quick salad, just arugula, salt, pepper, lemon juice, a little olive oil. So, yes, so you got either kale or arugula, and I think that's everything. So beets and or kohlrabi. You got either rhubarb, strawberries, or asparagus. You got two types of beans, one of the two types of beans, or broccoli.
And you got carrots.
Everybody got carrots. Awesome. Well, I think that is it for today. Thanks for following along with Layla and I. Is there a recipe that you would recommend this week? I shouldn't put you on the spot. What's one recipe that you would use, that you would have with all this?
Salad.
Salad with strawberries? Strawberries, yep. Awesome. Thanks, guys.